Hey, welcome to my channel. This is your girl SharaLa'sha, and today you already know what we're making: buttercream. Everybody loves buttercream, but this right here is a simple buttercream that I use for my cakes in order for them to stick to the fondant if I use it. You can use it in different consistencies depending on how much milk or other items you add into it. So what you'll need is butter, 1 pound of course. You'll need milk at room temperature. I always have a cup aside. You'll need 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. You'll also need 1/8 a teaspoon salt, and you'll also need 2 pounds of confectionery sugar or more, just depending on how much you want to add into it. I always go by the consistency, of course, and that's about it. So now that we've got all that done, let's get into the video.
Is it you? Is it me? Is it me? Say it's us, say it's us, and I'll agree, baby. Jump in a Cadillac, girl, let's put some miles on it. Anything you want, just to put a smile. Oh yeah, you deserve it, baby, you deserve it all, and I'm gonna give it to you. Gold jewelry shining so bright.
Alright, so once I have my bowl and my hand mixer, I go ahead and I get my butter ready at room temperature, and I start to put it in the bowl. Thank you to my helpers, Nalay and Abriana. I have one doing the camera and one helping with me with the ingredients. So when I get done with that, I go ahead and put all the butter together and I mix it. I mix it to a creamy consistency. That's why you want to keep it at room temperature, because it's easier to mix when it's at room temperature and it's more creamier. When you have hard butter and you're trying to mix it, butter goes everywhere. So it's better to have it at room temperature where it's soft and ready to actually mix. So I'm mixing it there. All ready to stop that quick. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to scrape the whole bowl. The reason you scrape the bowl, everybody knows, to make sure all the ingredients are incorporated. So I'll be scraping my bowl a lot throughout this video. So I'm making sure I scrape everything and getting everything off my spatula. And you always scrape down to the middle of the bowl. You want to make sure all ingredients are in the middle. Then I'm going to add my Crisco. Crisco I use for stability in my actual product. It's better in the summertime because it doesn't melt as quick as butter. Butter actually melts as quicker. So getting all that in there. And once we get it all in there, now it's time for us to start mixing. So we're going to mix all that together. And then we're going to add our powdered sugar. So as I add my powdered sugar, I always go by the way it looks whenever I'm mixing. If you get a real creamy consistency and it's real loose, that's not what you need, because you're going to add milk to it. So if you add milk to already a creamy consistency, you'll actually get basically a runny icing, which we don't need. So you want it to still be stiff. I always try to make sure it has a stiff peak. Here I am scraping my bowl again, making sure I get everything incorporated and that it's mixed well. After I do that, I go ahead and continue to scrape a little bit more. Then now it's time to add a little bit more powdered sugar. So I added a little bit more powdered sugar to my actual mixture. And this is what I came up with. You see where I added the powdered sugar? So I'm mixing that again. Looks really good though. As you can see, you look how I'm mixing it, and it was like kind of powdery, then now it's kind of like a stiff peak. That's what you're really looking for, that stiff peak after you mix it. And if you look, it's still kind of creamy when I'm mixing it and scraping the bowl. It's not really hard, and it's not too soft or runny. That's what you really need when you're trying to make buttercream, especially a simple buttercream. Then I'm adding my milk. I add my milk a little at a time because you're really not going to use all your milk. You're just going to use that to get the consistency that you want and desire. That depends on your actual cake and what you're doing at the time. Now I added my vanilla. You could add any flavor you like. Even you can add vanilla bean. That's a dry flavoring. You can add that. You can add cinnamon, any flavor that you desire. So I make sure all ingredients are incorporated again. It looks really good. You see the stiff peaks again in the corners. This is what you're looking for. I'm scraping a bowl again. As I stated, I'll be scraping throughout the whole video. And now we're going to add some color. So you can use gel or you can use liquid. This is the gel coloring I like to use. And also I have a yellow that I'm going to use also. And it's in the liquid. And I also have another gel coloring. These are very good, but this is the thing about the coloring. You cannot put too much, because if you put too much, it'll be bitter. So you don't want bitter icing. So sometimes you have to conversate with your customer and let them know that. This is me starting to add the coloring. I'm going to add a little bit of gel because the liquid was a little too liquid and it wasn't coloring as deep as I wanted. So I used it to make a base color, and I added the actual gel to define the color more. So here I am mixing. I'm mixing away. I think I changed to a spoon right here. I went the old-fashioned way. It was a little hard to do that, but that's what I did. Added a little bit more gel because the cake that I wanted to do, it was more of a vibrant, darker yellow. In fact, I think it was a Nerf cake. So that's pretty. I'm done. So now this is for another cake, but it's a pink. So I start to add the gel color. I add that a little bit at a time because, like I said, I don't want it to be too strained. And I like to wear gloves, y'all, as you just seen right there. And when I'm placing my cakes together. So right there, I'm looking at where it's not level. And so I flip it over, and you see I have a dome on top. So I'm going to cut that off because you want to make sure you even it out. That way when you do put the cakes together, they are not lopsided. In the middle, it doesn't have that big lump in it. It's a little easier. It's just more easier to cut that off. So right here, I'm cutting it off with a serrated knife. I wish I would have showed y'all the knife, but this is a quick video. So I took all that off, and you can put that aside for later for the kids, or you can use it for cake pops. I think that night we actually used it for cake pops. So I went ahead and I started to add my icing. This is the pink cake that I'm doing. So right here, I'm just going to show y'all a little bit of what I do. As you can see, you see how smooth that is? It looks really good. So I level it off. This is like the middle tier. And then I put the other tier on. That's not a layer. I'm sorry, I said tier. I meant to say layer. So this is one layer. Then I add another layer on top of that. And it'll make a tier. Also, make sure to comment below. Let me know what's your favorite flavor buttercream. Mine is chocolate buttercream and strawberry buttercream. It looks so good. It's very creamy. This is what I like to use for my cakes. This is when I am not putting fondant on it, so it's not as thick as it would be. So right here, this is where I add my other layer. So I added my other layer to it, and I'm about to cover that. And I think I'm going to show you a side view so you can see what a layer and a tier is. So I add my icing to the top. I always go to the top first. Some people go to the side first. It just depends on what you like to do. So right here I'm showing you the sides. This right here is a 2-layer cake. So you have 1 layer at the bottom, icing, then another layer equals 1 tier. So people get that so mixed up. I've had people say I want a 3-layer cake when they're really meaning they want a 3-tier cake. It's so smooth. So I continue to do that until it actually has a crumb coating. Then I put it in the refrigerator. So after this, I put it in the refrigerator and I let it cool for 10 to 15 minutes. Then I bring it back out, do another coating to make it look good, because the first coating actually seals all the crumbs in. The second coating makes it look good. So that's it. And keep watching my videos, and these are some of the pictures that I use that I put up for the cakes. Those are the 2 cakes that I've done. As you can see, those are actually just buttercream. So they look so good because you always make sure your consistency is right for what you're doing. Alright, and that's my video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll have all links below. And thank you for watching my video. Alright, bye.
Is it you? Is it me? Is it me? Say it's us, say it's us, and I'll agree, baby. Jump in the Cadillac. Girl, let's put some miles on it.
Hold up. Wait. Let me say this again. Make sure you follow me on all social outlets. That means Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Follow me on all of them. That way y'all can keep up with me and see what all I'm putting out. I got a lot for y'all. DIYs. I have tutorials. I also have some vlogs coming. So I'll see y'all then. Now, back to the music. Alright. Jumping